So the politics are happening again, because of course they always are. And it's really an embarrassing thing to watch. I always just shake my head at it and go, good grief, why are we so ridiculous? So what does it sound like to not like the culture war and to have a general idea of letting people do what they want to do? Well, my personal belief is that the purpose of government is to rein in the powerful and protect the not powerful. That's my general attitude on it. Doesn't mean I like communism. I think that we've had good grief, between China and the Soviet Union and a few other experiments in communism. I think over 200 million dead is fine, and I think it's enough. We've run this experiment enough times to know that it's a disaster. Now, what about socialism? Well, socialism is okay as long as it's mixed with a healthy dose of capitalism. Capitalism and socialism working together are good, because the capitalism, makes up for some of the things that the socialists want to do, and the socialism, it kind of blunts down some of the worst capitalistic ideals. You need a little of column A and a little of column B. As with most things in my life and what I say for the world around me, you need some balance in the world. Now, what about the fabled rainbow community? Well, the rainbow community, first of all, isn't really a community in the sense that it's talked about as. I know multiple gay people that despise the rainbow community because it's this weird Mardi Gras atmosphere that has some cult-like attitudes to it, that believes some stuff that it just kind of drags everyone kicking and screaming into its ideology. And it's important to realize that being gay doesn't change who you are. It really doesn't. Who you're sexually attracted to doesn't matter even a little bit. And by the way, a whole lot of gay people despise the queer community because the queer folks claim a lot of agency within the community that they're not happy with. Now, this is between them for the most part. My attitude as an outsider is I don't really care who you're attracted to as long as the person is a consenting adult, and I don't care how you identify as long as you're not too obnoxious about it. You want to identify as a tree? All right, fine. Just, I'm not going to give you some kind of foliage pronouns. I'm going to call you he or she. In a pinch, if I'm not sure, and just to, not have the fight, I might say they. I do say they, them a few times, but that's about as far as I'm willing to go. If you've got some wild and woolly pronouns that are some mixture of language that doesn't exist anymore, or it's something you made up, I'm not willing to bend that far. That's what it means to be kind of in the middle. If you're an extremist hooligan, your message and your mission is to attack people like me, to terrorize us so that we will do what you tell us to do. And to that I say, no. When 9/11 happened, I joined the army. Do not be a terrorist. So, my attitude on it is, just because I don't believe in it doesn't mean you can't do it or shouldn't do it. I'm not Muslim. I'm not Christian. But I don't believe we should outlaw those. I also don't believe those ideologies should be ruling the country. If they help you to find a path for yourself, excellent. And I'm sure there's various pieces of your ideologies that you're going to bring into the political realm, and I get that. But you don't get to demand that I believe your ideology. And this is the same thing with the people on the left. You think gay marriage should be a thing? Yeah, so do I. You think that we should be putting all of our children on puberty blockers so that they can, choose what sex they become when they're older? No, and I'll fight you to the death against that one. And if you decide to go after my daughter, well, that's what guns are for. So, there are lines in the sand. You want to do this to yourself once you're an adult and you can make proper decisions? All right. I think the for-profit medical industry is chuckling all the way to the bank after they do something irreversible to you. But I also know some folks that have done all of these things against my wishes, and they're delighted. They're happy. They think this is the best thing that's ever happened to them. So what does that mean? That means I don't know everything. And it also means that once you're an adult, you need to be allowed to live your own life in the way you want to. Just because it's not the way I want to doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It just means it makes me uncomfortable. Okay? Well, now you got to make a decision. How uncomfortable are you willing to make the people around you? And are you willing to absorb the consequences of making the people around you uncomfortable? Okay. So there's a balance in that. There's a social contract in that. I'm willing to put up with a certain amount of it. And like I said, I know some folks who are extremely happy having transitioned, and I'm glad for them. I'm hoping it's the right choice. It's not the choice I would make, and I don't fully understand the choice. But that's the point of living in a free country. The idea of living in a free country is you get to make your decisions. That's why I think abortion laws are important, as in they need to be legal. Because making abortion illegal doesn't stop it. It just makes it so that when it happens, it's much more dangerous for the woman. So that's a thing that I always cringe every time somebody goes, well, the government needs to do this. And it's like, no, the government needs to legalize it and then leave you the hell alone. That's what the government needs to do. The government needs to make it so that it's perfectly fine to be transgender. Hell, it's fine to be a drag queen. The drag queen stuff. This whole thing where states are like banning drag queens. You're not allowed to be a drag queen within a certain distance of a school. It's like, whoa. Okay. Once again, we're legislating in a way that is very foolish. All you got to do is follow the rules. Rules like, are they actively going after kids? In 99% of the cases, the answer is no, they're not. They don't care. They're not going after the kids. Relax. Leave them be. You don't need to make additional laws to deal with a problem that probably doesn't exist. That fear-mongering, that's how politicians control people. That's how they get reelected. They scare the hell out of you, introduce you to a problem that probably doesn't actually exist, and then say, oh, I'll fix your problem. And look at that group of weirdos over there. Let's go get that group of weirdos over there. Well, okay, that's every genocidal plot ever throughout history. Take a group of people that's a little weird, that makes everybody else uncomfortable, and then demonize them further, and then go way after them, and that's how you make your political career. Well, that's what's happening right now. So, if you're a member of the rainbow community, the thing you got to remember is do not scare the hell out of the straights. Because that's how Republican witch mobs get, anti-witch mobs get, drummed up, and they go after you to burn you at the stake because you're one of the weirdos and you freak them out. And the people that want to control them have told them all kinds of terrible things about you that aren't true. So, if you're a member, if you are one of the alphabet people, whether it's casually or fully or whatever part, your mission is not to terrorize the people around you, not to freak them out. Your mission is to convince every normal folk that you're also a normal folk, that you're acceptable, that you're not a danger to society, and that you're going to be a decent neighbor. Because that's how civil rights groups typically get their freedoms. They get their rights. Gay marriage got signed into law because gay men convinced white women, wealthy white women, that every white woman needed a gay best friend. That was the Will and Grace stuff. And as silly and demeaning as it is, yeah, that's how it happened. So, help us help you.